better level of service, certainly we would encourage you to make an appointment, and you can do so by calling the city's main line, and staff will be certainly glad to assist and facilitate that. And in some cases, we can actually put you in on the same day. If you visited any of our facilities, you will see that there is signage that is up that encourages folks to maintain 6 feet of distance. We also have sneeze guards and other public safety related items related to COVID-19. And we have multiple hand sanitation stations, our restrooms, as well as other facilities, as well as doorknobs and stairwells and railings are sanitized on a very frequent basis to the point where it's almost every 30 minutes. So staff is doing their best to make sure that our facilities are sterilized and clean and accessible to members of our public. One of the things that you've probably heard is Executive Order by Governor DeSantis 2244, which is an executive order that basically removes any restrictions that local municipalities had with regards to restaurant operations. Restaurants are allowed to conduct business at 100% capacity in the indoor of their operations. Local governments are able to be restrictive. However, the restrictions must be provided to the state to address the following items. And one of those is the quality of the economic impact for each limitation or requirement of those restaurants, and explain why each limitation is necessary for the public health. So even if there was a restriction that Palm Beach County or the city of Riviera Beach had with regards to restaurants, we would have to be able to answer those questions to the state, as the state has said in the executive order, that safeguarding the economic vitality of the state is something that is critically important. And we agree with that to a degree. However, the health, safety, and welfare of the public is of utmost concern for us, and we don't want to allow for situations that impact folks in our community, especially those with pre-existing conditions. One of the things that we certainly want folks to know is that we are working diligently to facilitate another testing operation in our community. We are tentatively scheduling testing for the first weekend in November, but more information will come out with regards to that. And then the exciting news as we move towards finding a vaccine for this particular illness, we're certainly going to be working with Palm Beach County and other entities to move forward with the vaccine in our community. So once it's available for public consumption, we actually will be a closed point of distribution to facilitate the release of the vaccine. So we're excited about that, and fire personnel and staff have been working diligently to ensure that we still are on the forefront of those entities that would receive that benefit. I cannot emphasize enough the importance of washing hands, wearing a mask, utilizing hand sanitizers, soap and water when available, and avoiding large crowds or large gatherings. We don't want to have a situation where an event or an activity becomes one of those events and activities that you end up reading about. So please try to avoid crowds of more than 10 to 20 people. Maintain at least 6 foot distance. Always wear a mask, and be mindful that this virus is very contagious. It actually operates differently in every individual in which it contacts. So we cannot stress the level of importance of being aware of the CDC guidelines and recommendations. We have moved into face-to-face meetings, both on the city and CRA side. We are holding all our public meetings at the Marina Event Center, as that facility has the ability to accommodate our public meetings. We have an area that can accommodate roughly about 52 individuals, and then 2 other small ballrooms that can accommodate some additional overflow And in the event that we do have a large event, meeting, we have pagers that individuals can stay in their vehicle and wait till their page to come and address the board. And as it relates to face-to-face meetings with staff, we are still encouraging individuals to work off a digital platform, as that is the best way and the quickest way to conduct business with the City of Riviera Beach at this particular time. And so I want to thank everyone for listening into my operational report, and you will hear from the balance of the team as it relates to some items that are happening as it relates to the City of Riviera Beach COVID-19 response. And at this time, I turn the presentation back over to you, Ms. Dozier, to introduce the next speaker.
And thank you for that report, Mr. X. That was very full, very rich. Appreciate it. Up next, we're going to have our operations report, not from our fire chief, John Curd, I don't believe. He's not in. We're going to hear today from our assistant fire chief, Keith Golden. Mr. Golden?
Thank you, Ms. Dozier. Good afternoon, Mr. Evans, all the emergency management team, and members of the community. This is Assistant Chief Golden with the report. According to the Florida Department of Health, in the state of Florida, we have 744,988 total cases, which resulted in 15,929 deaths, which is a 5.1% of the daily rate and 4.5% of the weekly positivity rate. In Palm Beach County, they've had 48,496 total cases, which resulted in 1,472 deaths, with 3.76% of the daily rate and 3.9% of the weekly rate. Palm Beach County School District has had one student that was positive, and that student was at West Riviera Elementary. The census tract number shows no significant decrease in positives in Riviera Beach municipal boundary at this time. The daily positivity rates are up slightly, but maintaining below the 5% threshold for Palm Beach County. The slight increase in ER and hospital admissions and bed utilization rates are up just a little bit. The increase is expected in phase 3 and because of the school reopenings. I just want to advise everyone listening that continued efforts are needed with the facial coverings and physical distancing and enhanced cleaning. At this time, the tropics are quiet. There's no development expected over the next 5 days. And I turn it back over to you, Ms. Dozier.
Thank you, sir. Do you have any data about Riviera Beach specifically, or do we usually not share that now? Just curious.
We do. I don't have it on the paper in front of me, but I'll get that information out before the call is.
Okay, I'd appreciate that. All right, perfect. Thank you so much, sir. Next up, we have Valerie Grimsley, who is, as most of us know, the long-term executive director of the Youth Empowerment Program. But here during the pandemic, she has also been helping. She is the Health and Human Services Section Chief, and she has a full report to us this evening. Ms. Grimsley?
Yes, thank you, Ms. Dozier. Good evening, citizens of Riviera Beach. This is Valerie Grimsley, YEP Director, acting as your Health and Human Services Section Chief. Health and Human Services continue to partner with Feeding South Florida to provide community food distributions once weekly at Wells Recreation from 9 to 11. Currently, these distributions are feeding 200 plus families per week. We ask that you come early, but even if you don't, we have enough to go around, and we have partners that if you are in need of food throughout the week and you cannot make it on Friday, we ask that you give us a call, and we will actually refer you to one of our partners so that we make sure that your family is continuously fed a nutritious meal. Currently, Health and Human Services is coordinating COVID-19 and antibody pop-up testing sites to be held in the first week of November. We're looking at November 7th. More information will be coming soon on that event. At this time, Health and Human Services has discontinued public mask distribution, but in the event masks are still needed by any of our citizens, please do not hesitate to contact Health and Human Services at 561-840-0135. We will ensure that your request is accommodated. That is your Health and Human Services report. Back to you, Ms. Dozier.
Thank you very much, Ms. Laney. I appreciate it. And in terms, how soon will you know if that November 7th pop-up testing site date will happen?
I'm hoping to get that information by tomorrow to disseminate it up to City Manager's office anytime by tomorrow afternoon or Saturday. And we will, as soon as Mr. Evans has an opportunity to review it and approve it, we will roll it out to the community latest Monday.
That's kind of why I was asking, because Walter and I were working on a digital newsletter to go out tomorrow, but maybe we'll see. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Ms. Lady.
Thank you.
Up next, our finance section chief, Randy Sherman, to report about finances of this.
Thank you, Ms. Dozier. Good evening, everyone. This is Randy Sherman, the city's finance director and finance section chief. Give you a quick update on our utility program. As you all know, we went back to normal process at the beginning of August. And through today, I'm very pleased to say that we only have 153 accounts that are currently disconnected. And a number of those are actually disconnected due to the fact that they have been finalized out, not the lack of payment. We have set up hundreds of payment plans to provide assistance to our customers. So again, if you know someone who is still struggling financially and having difficulty paying their utility bills, please give us a call. Our number is 561-845-4050, and we will work out arrangements that are doable from both sides. I still want to give folks an update. Palm Beach County Community Services has reopened their program for utility and rental assistance. It's a very good program funded by the Federal CARES Act, and it will provide assistance for up to 3 months of both rental and utilities if you qualify. They would prefer that you go online and contact them through an actual application. You can either go on your favorite search engine and just do Palm Beach County Community Services, and they'll take you right to their home page. Or if you want to go directly to the application, it is Rental Assistance PBC. That's Rental Assistance PBC as in PalmBeachCounty.com. And if you have to give them a call, it is 561-355-4700. And Ms. Dozier, that ends my finance report.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sherman. And we are going to include the fact of that Palm Beach County CARES Act program relaunching again. That's also in the digital newsletter that hopefully will go out tomorrow. So thank you so much for that information, Mr. Sherman. Up next will be about the planning section, but Mr. Bailey, Terrence Bailey, is not here on the call tonight. So our city manager, Mr. Evans, will provide the information. Mr. Evans?
Thank you, Ms. Dozier. As previously stated, the planning section has deployed sneeze guards, signage throughout the facilities, as well as sanitation stations for the public as they conduct business. There is also additional plans to, as we move into subsequent phases, to help facilitate larger operations coming online. as well as making sure that if there is additional needs or modifications that have to be made as a result of a increase or decrease in consumers that conduct business with the city, that the planning section is prepared and ready to assist in facilitating that. Planning is also watching what is occurring in the tropics to be able to be prepared in the event that there's an impending storm that may impact the area. So the planning section stands prepared and willing to assist in whatever role as necessary. And I turn the presentation back over to you, Ms. Dozier.
Thank you, sir. All right. Now, do we have anyone on the call who has any questions for any of our team?
And if you have any questions, you just got to hit *9.
Anybody, any questions for any of our very talented, very hardworking team? Well, I guess not. Mr. Evans, does that mean that that is the end of the meeting?
That means that we're concluded. Oh.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to answer the question that Ms. Dozier asked as far as positive cases in Riviera Beach. In zip code 33404, we had 1,273 positive cases. That is all.
Of course, that zip code includes more than Riviera Beach. Does that include
that is correct. It includes West Palm Beach, Riviera Beach, Lake Park, North Palm Beach, Palm Beach Gardens, and Palm Beach Shores. Mm-hmm.
Parts of those cities, yeah. So our numbers are much lower than that, I'm sure. Okay. Any other questions for anyone? Well, Mr. Evans, did you want to go ahead and close the meeting, or?
Yeah, certainly. Thank you, everyone, for being on the call. We certainly appreciate those that listen to the call. And as communicated, you can see that our numbers are substantially lower than a lot of communities that are a fraction of the size of our community. So kudos to the residents as well as the staff and the elected leadership for doing everything in our power to make sure we're safe in our community. So that concludes our community call for this evening, and be safe. And if there's anything that we can do, we're only a phone call away. Please visit our website and follow our social media. Thanks so much.
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Evans. Thank you, Emergency Operations Team. Have a good evening.